how long you are in Valencia, how long you play in tennis, and tell me about your life.
Ooh. My name is Brianna. I have lived in Valencia for just over 2 years. I have a 7-year-old son. I've played tennis on and off for about 20 years when I was in high school, secondary school, and then lost it, and then started playing again in my 30s when after I had my son. I'm a freelance writer and grad school student.
And when did you start play tennis here in Valencia, and how often you play per week?
I started playing tennis about a month after we moved here. I started with a different program with a different coach, and I've been playing for about 2 years now here in Valencia. And I play anywhere from 2 to 3 days per week for anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half a day each session.
What is happening in your life or with your body when you thought, yes, this is my moment to start play tennis again?
That's a really good question. It actually started when I was living in Florida before we moved to Valencia, and where we lived had these beautiful courts. And I just had this moment of like, I really miss that. I miss that competitiveness. I miss being able to be ferocious. I miss being like the intensity, the camaraderie that came with playing a tennis. Also, the mental and emotional education you get with the sport, and I was like, I really want to cultivate that again. So I played for a couple years, and when we moved here, I said it's non-negotiable. I have to maintain this. I have to keep up with this. I have to maintain the tenacity and integrity, because tennis is so good for you in so many different ways, like I mentioned, mentally, emotionally, but also like physically and spiritually. So it has become part of my core that I will not relinquish again. ¡Vamos! Okay. ¡Corre, corre! ¡Oh, fuera!
Tell me about before and after. What was happening with your life before playing tennis and now? Tell me, show me the big difference.
That's another really good question. Oh man. Okay, so for me, tennis became like an outlet, like for my frustration. So before, if I was short fused or angry, I might like snap at my kid, or I wouldn't have enough patience. Now I would say that my patience has increased like 100%. Like it has given me a constructive outlet to deal with stress in a very productive way. It's also created new avenues for me. For instance, I've always been someone who does yoga, but when I started playing tennis again, so I was like mentally prepared for matches, I would do yoga every time before a match so I could get my mentality like switched on. And I think that practice in tandem with tennis has really improved not only my mental and physical wellness, but also like my spiritual wellness, because now I'm more in tune with my body, I'm more in tune with my mind, and I would say it's like night and day. So I went from maybe being 50% able to deal with stress to like 95% being able to tackle or take on whatever life throws at me. And I know it sounds silly, but I think when you have an outlet for your mind and for your frustration, because let's be fair, life can be frustrating, and it's productive and you can build and grow, I think that really changes who you are as a person, but also it makes you better for those around you. So it's been like night and day shift. Like I'm a different person with tennis than I was 5 years ago when I picked up a racket again.
I know now.
Now
I
we
know
know
you
what I'm
need a
capable
camera. You were like
or my
super
racket.
low. That ace. Oh my god.
You work remotely, and your mom How these 2 hours, 2 hours and a half helps you or disturb you to make your current life?
Man, he's another one. For me, it gives me something to look forward to. It gives me an outlet. It gives me something that I'm passionate about. It makes me move my body, which is always a really good thing. And because you're doing all of this, and tennis is something where you have to let go, you have to think about the next point, you have to think about how you can. Yes, you're always working on something, but when you mess it up, you have to let it go. And that can be applied to life. So if you make a mess, your 7-year-old spilled something, you have to let it go, you know? You have to be like Elsa and let it go. Um, and it's also a really good modeling behavior for my son, that he can see mommy out there doing something she loves. Okay, I will never be Serena Williams. I can pretend, but something it shows him that no matter what, it's never too late to try something. It's never too late to work hard at something. Um, and I think that's really important for kids to see. But mostly, it gives me space to be me and to just literally leave everything that's frustrating, exciting, or good, bad, ugly, like on the court.
You told me you practice with private coach. You have private lessons. Which is the difference for you? The difference between private lessons and on group. A group is probably more fun. Or tell me how you feel on private lesson and why is private lesson.
So for me, group lessons are great because you have that interaction, right? Where you can kind of compete against your colleagues, your friends, and practice things. But private lessons are where you can really focus on your opportunities and fine tune some of the mechanics that you can't get in a group lesson. You don't have the time, you don't have the focus of a coach without a private lesson. You don't have the, specific attention on your mechanics, your mechanisms, what exactly you need to focus on. And that changes every day. Sometimes my serve is beautiful. The next day my serve
Not
goes into
not
the
so
net.
beautiful.
Not yet. No, no, no bonito. No está bonito. But that's the benefit of, having that private coach to really analyze exactly what you need to work on, what your focus should be, and what you're doing well, and how to just repeat that muscle memory so that you don't slip out of it when you are playing with your friends and you can just beat them every time.
And also, you work with biomechanics analysis. Is a difference between if good coach, explain you something on court, and when you make a very deep biomechanics analysis of your movement, forehand, backhand, serve. Yeah, tell me please how the biomechanics analysis helps you to improve more on court. If it's possible to do analysis online and use it on your real practice.
So I think what the biomechanic analysis can offer that you don't get in the private lesson. I mean, you could if you're videoing it and analyzing it, but oftentimes your coach is just focused on you in that moment. And so, what the bioanalysis allows for is you to go back to focus on your practice while you're in practice, and then have the biomechanics afterwards so you can really see the fine tuning that needs to be done and watch yourself, And if you're standing there watching a video during your practice, then you're not practicing. So, the biomechanics allows you to have that space and time to really focus on those tiny microscopic movements that you don't realize actually impact it. And I'll take this back to like an American sports athlete, Tom Brady, who really changed his game with something very similar. Like he would just the millimeter of how he would throw the football, so NFL, American football, he that changed his game entirely. And so the biomechanics is similar here, for the tennis, right? It's this microscopic movement, these fine muscle memories that you don't realize actually, how high you toss the ball, how your fingers might twitch at the end. Are you paying attention to these little details? And sometimes you can't even feel them. So to be able to go back and see them and do the full analysis really impacts your game. because then you can actually see it and feel it, and then it just
And
takes off.
practice it.
Yeah, and then practice it, and then it goes from there.
Do you remember any moment on your practice when you said, "Wow, my forehand works good," or "Forehand another other shot," or can you tell me? Can you invite me to the trip to that moment?
I mean, there's a few actually. Anytime I win a point off my coach, I'm like, yes. But what there's so my forehand was always solid, but never like great. And now it's gotten to a point where I can like literally whip the ball deep into the corner, so I catch my opponent or my coach off guard, and they have to back up, and then they're not getting that shot back. But my absolute favorite is a short cross court ball. Now, backhand even better, because then you can just hit it, and I've totally had to take apart my backhand and like rebuild it. So when I can hit this shot, it's like it is like the sweetest victory ever, because it just grazes over the net, drops and dies, and that is such a victory. And then I have to just comment on my serve too, because placement of a serve is so key. It's crucial when you play tennis, right? Whether you want to go right to the tee or take it out to the side of the box. And so being able to place the ball now with more accuracy and consistency, and then you can keep your opponent on their toes. They don't know if they need to stand closer to the tee or out wide. And that's how you play the mental side of tennis, when you have the mechanics to move the ball and therefore surprise your opponent.
When you receive the first video analysis from your forehand, what did you feel at that time?
That's what I look like. It is surprising. It's always weird to see yourself on camera and to see how your body moves and operates. So that was a bit interesting, because in the moment you always feel like you're moving faster, you're low enough, you're following through, and then you see you're not really doing any of those things, and definitely not well. So it's a bit humbling. It also made me realize, I'm pretty athletic, so that's a good thing. And so to kind of see like the progression of where it started and how it ended, like where I am now, that is more inspiring. just to see this go. But the first time, you're just like, I didn't realize I had so much room for growth. And now you just realize like, oh, every step is one step in the right direction.
Let's talk about biomechanic video analysis. What one adjustment did you focus, and how it helps you? How did it change your tennis?
I guess I'll do my forehand, because I thought I had a really good rhythm and consistency with my forehand. And what I realized with the analysis was that my follow through was always short, and my balance and my body spacing was inconsistent. So with the analysis, I was able to identify that I needed to space myself better, plant my feet, and follow through more fluidly. And how that's changed my game is because now I don't have to think as much about the steps. It's become more habitual. It's become more muscle memory, which is what you're going for. And like I said before, we deconstructed my backhand, and just seeing that progression of how important it is to move my feet in a certain way and to follow through in a certain way with your strokes. It's really hard. You can feel it, but once you see what you're doing from a third party, from this video analysis, it's so much easier to understand the directions that your coach is giving you, so you can make your game better.
If you have to rate a video analysis based on biomechanics in your tennis, give me one number: 0, 10.
A million. No, I think that if you're a serious tennis player, it's always a 10 out of 10, right? Like you have to. It's kind of like, going to the doctor. You can go get the bill of health, but if you're not going to do anything about it, like what's the point of going to the doctor? So you can go to your coach, but if you're not doing everything in your power to make your game better, you're going to stay in the same level. So I think any player who seriously wants to improve their game, and it's one thing for your coach to say, your shot. But for you to see your shot and then have the adjustments be made, like 100%, 10 out of 10, it's essential for any player.
You told me before the video analysis helps you to improve on tennis. But tell me, on which area you improve. You are more consistent. Probably it's save you from some injury of some possible injury. I don't know, or probably you feel much better. Your like I mean your nice feeling. You know, only the people who play in tennis we feel that like pleasure to hit the ball. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have bad shot, you hit the ball goes there, no problem. But you bad feeling. But tell me where, which area you improve and how you feel, where you feel it's your tennis is better.
So for me, I would say a lot of it comes down to like the footwork, really understanding how my feet were not moving previously as opposed to now to set myself up for the shot. And then in tandem with that, I would say my swing, especially my forehand swing, because the backhand is a bit easier to kind of understand where the mistake is, and the forehand is, easier, more naturally. So for me, having that ability to be more stable, because that's what it's given me, the ability to be more stable, and once I'm grounded and centered, then to swing, that just awareness, that then, like I said before, it becomes second nature. It's more like muscle memory now. You can't have the muscle memory if you're doing the stroke incorrectly, and if you're doing it incorrectly, you're having the wrong muscle memory that can lead to injuries, like you're saying. So having that stability has given me the capability to have more grounding so that I can extend my arm properly, follow through with authority, and just maintain an overall better physical wellness that isn't pulling muscles or, having tennis elbow or any of those things that come with poor form and technique. So I think those are the two kind of like simultaneous things that happened in congruently in order to be a better tennis player. That's where I would say.
Okay, Brianna, thank you very much.
Thank
You're the
you,
best.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.